Here are 25 very popular Lego sets for investing that I'm either scooping up or watching very closely before they retire. So let's talk about it, and at the end I will give you my top 3 from this video. Hey everyone, welcome back to KDX Bricks Analytics. I am Kevin, and as you know, this is where I watch all the other Lego investing and reselling videos on YouTube, and then I collect and compile all the data to make this summary table over here. And that way, by watching my videos, hopefully I am saving you some time, since this is a good data set of all the information from the other videos. In my most recent video, we talked about the top 25 sets on this table. In this video, we're going to talk about the next 35 sets that got the most mentions and have the highest E-scores during the August 1st to September 30th, 2023 time period. If you haven't heard my explanation on how I aggregate all this information and get these numbers, check out the beginning of my last video. I explain it in detail. The first set for this video is this great looking helmet on the screen, 75350, the clone Commander Cody helmet. It got 5 mentions with an enthusiasm score of 2.8, but it does not have the R in parentheses before the set number and name, so it is not expected to retire at the end of this year. It's a great set, but I'm not picking any up yet because it's not showing up on any retirement lists yet, and I like to wait until we have some gauge as to when it's going to retire. No reason to hold on to the boxes before the set will stop showing up on the shelves. But let's look at the helmets real quick. Overall, they are very popular and do well. The Boba Fett helmet, the original one in this series, which had almost 3 years on the shelves, still doing okay, from $60 up to $70. All of these you can get 20-30% off from time to time. Do the math in your head to show that this is a much better return than just the $10, especially when you factor in that it retired at the end of last year, and it had one of the longer shelf lives for a helmet set. The Stormtrooper, 60 to 125. The Target exclusive TIE Fighter Pilot is the Holy Grail, 60 to over 200. And then the rest of these that have retired are all doing okay, and then some of them have not retired yet. It's a great collection overall. Commander Cody is a nice addition. We'll talk about Captain Rex in a few minutes. And it's really starting to sound like Lego is not going to make any more in this series, so the expectation is that their popularity and desirability in retirement would go up a little bit further even. I did want to point out that if we Google the Commander Cody helmet, and here's a good example, and we compare that to the Lego set, it looks pretty good. Going back and forth, not too bad at all. Obviously in Lego form, things aren't going to be perfect, but I think this is an excellent representation of Commander Cody. And then I wanted to show you on Rebrickable how somebody took the helmet and then made a whole body. And so now we have a large brick built minifigure that looks fantastic. Obviously, you need a lot more pieces than what come in the box for the helmet set, but still, this looks fantastic. Next on the table is retiring at the end of this year, 75339, the Death Star Trash Compactor Diorama, 5 mentions with an enthusiasm score of 2.6, a little less than 2 years on the shelf life. As you know, I'm a huge fan of the diorama sets. Although this one is kind of ugly, the action feature is really well done, and all of the trash elements that collapse up with all the minifigures inside is a really cool touch. Do keep in mind that the diorama sets are all very, very expensive, and so you have to get them on sale. I've got, it looks like 7 of them, and I think I got them all for around 55 if I remember, maybe even 52. Although none of these minifigures are exclusive, they look pretty good. Yes, Brickset says that the Luke and Han figures are, I think it's just the torso because they're in the Stormtrooper disguise, but that torso isn't anything particularly special, but still, it comes with 6 minifigures and they all look pretty good. And don't forget, this is a Walmart exclusive set, so this should do a little better because of not as many people going and finding it in all the stores. And then a quick look at all of the dioramas. This one fits in with all the others. The Dagobah Jedi training set is my favorite, but the 2 newer ones, the Speeder Chase and the Throne Room, look great. And then to show that there will still be more in the series, we've got the Pod Race diorama and then the Tantive 4 boarding diorama coming soon. Hopefully they make at least a few more, similar to the number of helmets, and this will be a really nice series of Star Wars Lego sets to collect, in my opinion. Now on to 75292, the Razor Crest, 5 mentions with an E-score of 2.4, and I really don't know what to think about this set. I go back and forth. It has over a 3-year shelf life, which is really long. It's $140 for just over 1,000 pieces. There are 4 or 5 minifigures depending on how you want to count them, but none of them are exclusive. They're really not that special. If this set is going to do well in retirement, it's all about the first main main ship in the first season of The Mandalorian. Some of the presenters on YouTube are really all about this set for investing, even though they admit it will probably be a long hold time, and then some are absolutely avoiding it. Like I said, I go back and forth. I might pick up one or two, but I really think that if they do okay, it's going to be a long hold. Another helmet, 75343, the Dark Trooper helmet, also 5 mentions with an enthusiasm score of 2.4. This is a Target exclusive, so a lot of people are excited about this set because helmets, like we looked at, do well, and then the Target exclusive TIE Fighter Pilot did really well, but it only has a 3.8 on BrickHeadz, and that's because it just doesn't look that good. There's way too many studs on the crown and dome area of the helmet, and then the jowls and the ears and cheeks area just don't work out. There's a lot of things that don't work out. You look at it and you kind of know what you're looking at, and I guess because it's part of a series, it will have some desirability. But if we look at the Dark Trooper attack set, and then we look at the Dark Trooper minifigure, that's what the helmet should look like. And nice and smooth dome area and good proportions in the cheeks, and then the nose and mouth and breather area looks great. And this is all in minifigure size, and then in the large brick built size, it just doesn't work out for me. Our first non-Star Wars set, 76187 Venom, 5 mentions with a 2.4, over 2.5 years shelf life, $70. Unless I can get a really good discount on it, I'm not picking it up. We have seen it in the mid 40s, I think, but I would even want it lower. It's just not one that I'm super excited about. It could do okay in retirement. Carnage is doing okay, $60 up to $70. Remember, plan on 20 to 30% discount on all these, whether it's Rakuten or Honey or gift with purchase or cashback or stacking, all those deals. So this one's doing okay since it's only been retired for a year, but between the two, this one looks great. And other than the tongue and the gums and the teeth, this one is just okay. Looking on eBay though, in some cases it's already going for over $60 shipped. Here's one for 75 shipped, 70 shipped. So it's going for pretty close to MSRP. Now there are some that are $10 or $20 below that. So that's an okay sign, but still I'm going to be looking for a heavy discount to pick any up. 75323, the Justifier, 5 mentions, only an E-score of 2.2. This one's been talked about a lot because of the $170 for the 1,022 pieces. Way overpriced. That's why it only has a 3.7 on BrickHeadz, but it does have just over a year shelf life. Certainly will help it out. And because of that high price, probably not too many on the secondary market. There are some, because I got a couple at around $103. Some people got them for $80, $90. Some people got them for around $120. I'm happy getting the couple for $103, but I wouldn't be getting any more than that. The ship is only okay. It's very gappy, and the tail section that goes up and down is missing the bottom part. You shouldn't be able to put that down and land the ship flat at the same time, so that's a big miss. And then a lot of these details seem to be really disjointed, in my opinion. It just doesn't flow, and a lot of gaps in the build overall. So the ship is okay, but it is very sizable. The minifigures are really good, but the only one that is now exclusive is Cad Bane. So really, this minifigure is gonna make or break this set in retirement. If we look at Rebrickable, there are 2 previous Cad Bane minifigures. They were in smaller sets, I think $50 to $100 sets, and they're doing okay. And the one that is in this set, which clearly looks significantly better than the first 2, is also doing okay. Only time will tell on this set. Also with an E-score of 2.2 and 5 mentions is this 2-pack Speed Champion 76910. It's 45 for 2 vehicles, so this is the more expensive 2-pack Speed Champion set. Almost 2-year shelf life, and it's okay. I like the Speed Champions overall. In general, I think they're a good theme to play the field on. The Valkyrie only looks okay. The Vantage looks great. As always, the minifigures are exclusive. That one looks awesome. I like that lime green with the fine stitching printing on it. Looking at previous 2-packs, this is the Corvette set that retired a year ago. Not doing great so far, and of course it's the one that I have more of than the others that we're about to look at. The other 2-pack from a year ago, from 50 up to 71, again plan on a 20% discount minimum, so that's really good. And then the couple that retired in 21, the Jaguar SUV looks fantastic, so 30 to 55, and then the Lamborghini set from 50 to 83. I don't think this one will do great, but if I can get it on a really good discount, I will definitely grab a couple and play the field. Oh, and don't forget, my videos are for entertainment purposes only. I do not provide financial advice. You got to get that from somebody else. Now, with 4 mentions, but a much higher enthusiasm score of 2.8 is this new Walt Disney Tribute Camera 43230. This set is amazing. The minifigures are fantastic. There's the first time we've got Walt in minifigure form, Minnie and Mickey, and then a Bambi and Dumbo character that are both exclusive to this set. And then this vinyl tape piece with the classic Disney film images on it is unbelievable. You can crank the camera, you can rotate the lenses, you can focus in and out. I'm not picking any up yet because it just came out, but if this set does not have some crazy long shelf life, it should do really well in retirement, in my opinion. Captain Rex helmet, 4 mentions with an E-score of 2.8, 75349. Same comments on this one as on the Commander Cody helmet. It looks fantastic. And a quick comparison to the animated helmet, it looks great. Again, for Lego form, pretty comparable, very recognizable. I like it. I'll wait until it shows up on a retirement list, probably at the end of 2024. BrickHeadz, 4 mentions with an E-score of 2.5 is Donald Duck 40377. It's a Disney BrickHeadz. Historically, they do pretty well. This one has a very long shelf life, over 3 years. T-Rex Breakout Diorama, $100 for over 1,200 pieces. All 4 minifigures are exclusive, and this set looks really good. Some people are wishing that this dinosaur was a mold. I actually like that it's brick built. I think it makes it unique, being that it is a diorama set and also a not very common style for Jurassic Park. I think it's the only diorama for Jurassic Park, so I like that there are some unique features to this set. And again, the minifigures look really good. Looking on eBay, it's going for about $80, $75 to $80 shipped. Since we've been able to get this set on sale for $70 or $80, then that's okay to start out with. Hopefully it grows in retirement. Looking at Camel, when it first came out and it was new and probably not quite as widely available, then it was jumping up to 130, 150. Now it's flattened out around 110, but these early numbers are a pretty good sign. And don't forget, this one is also a Target exclusive, so that should help it out. This new Ahsoka T6 shuttle set, 4 mentions with an E-score of 2.5. It looks awesome. I know that the underside of the set is all anti-studs, and some people wish that was a little more finished off. I get that. It reminds me of the Mandalorian sets that I have in those boxes behind me. Not only does the ship look great, but the minifigures also look really good. I like Huang in the minifigure form instead of the droid form that some people have talked about. Of course, the live action Ahsoka looks fantastic. Inquisitor is good, and then Sabine looks fantastic, and I like that she has the purple hairpiece along with this really nice detailed head, and then of course the torso, legs, and toes. Really good minifigure. The next modular building that is retiring, which is 10270, the bookshop. We talked about the first one in the last video, which is the police station. This bookshop is still popular for investing, but it only has 4 mentions with an enthusiasm score of 2.3. 4-year shelf life, so much longer than the police station, but that's about average for modular buildings. But this one is still the $200 and only 2,500 pieces. If you check out the last video, the police station is also $200, but almost 3,000 pieces. Modular buildings seem to continue to be evergreen sets. They all have done well in retirement, except the last one that retired, which we'll look at in a few minutes. This one, like all the others, looks fantastic, so another great addition to the series. All of the interior details are really outstanding. A lot of fun to build these sets, and of course they go with all of the other ones that have already been released. Another Disney BrickHeadz, 40553, Woody and Bo Peep, 4 mentions with an E-score of 2.3. 2-year shelf life on this one, so it'll do okay like a lot of the other Disney BrickHeadz, and it will pair well with this set, which hasn't done anything yet, but wait until the next animated film comes out in the Toy Story franchise, which is in production as far as I've heard. Now on to this great new set, 75354, the Coruscant Guardship. 4 mentions already with an E-score of 2.3. It just came out and will probably have a decent shelf life, at least a couple of years, I would think. Pretty expensive, so similar to the Razor Crest, $140 for almost 1,100 pieces. Since it just came out way too early to be figuring out when to purchase it or if it will be a good investment, now's the time to watch it and see how its popularity trends and how the sales trend, if it goes out of stock or becomes less readily available. And then as you watch all that over the next year or so, then you'll be able to use that information to decide if it would be a good investment once we see that it is on a retirement list. I love the red color. Maybe that's not everybody's preference, but I like something a little bit different. I like something brighter with a lot of color, and the minifigures are great. Palpatine looks fantastic. And of course, Fox and the Shock Troopers are awesome. The big question is, will Lego do a good job with production, or will the white printed on this red torso be very pink looking, and will the lines not be as sharp as they should be? Some of you probably already know I haven't got the set and opened it up yet, so fingers crossed. And now the last modular building retiring at the end of this year, 10255 Assembly Square, 7-year shelf life, but it is the 10-year commemorative. $300 for 4,000 pieces, a 4.4 on brick set. It is an absolutely gorgeous set, but it only has 4 mentions and an E-score of 2 on our table. I love it, but I am passing on it unless there's some miracle and some crazy great discount that we can get on it. Just too long of a shelf life for me. But now that we've looked at all of the modulars that are retiring at the end of this year, 2 in this video, 1 in the last video, so that's 3 modulars retiring. We didn't have any retire at the end of last year, so I guess that kind of makes sense. They needed to get an extra one off the shelves, but let's scroll through and look at how they're performing. So the most recent one is the corner garage, only from 200 to 240. One thing to point out is that the value that BrickHeadz shows is typically after shipping and fees on eBay. If you were to do a comparison, and I haven't compared them all, but I've spot checked a bunch of them. So the value shown on BrickHeadz 90% of the time is a pretty good representation of your take home cash after the sale. So back to the corner garage, not very popular, but it is a corner modular, which is harder to set up in a city because you want to make a long line of them typically on a shelf. So the corners are going to be less desirable. And this one just wasn't as popular, even though it's a really good set. And the tow truck and shop and the lift mechanism in here is all really good. And all the rest of the interior details are nice, but the exterior just doesn't look great. But then downtown diner from 170 to 280. And then of course the older ones are all doing really well. 500, 400, and then you can get into the 800 and 500. For the most part, they're just evergreen sets, but I am very worried about the 7-year shelf life for the Assembly Square. 10266 NASA Apollo 11 Lunar Lander, 4.5-year shelf life, $100, which is a really good price point. Only 4 mentions with an E-score of 2. I actually really like this set, and I acknowledge that it'll probably be a little longer hold time than what we would be hoping for, but it is so iconic and it's really well done in Lego form. I have it, I built it. It was a very good build experience. If we look at some comparables, the Saturn V Ideas set, which was so popular, Lego re-released it. Again, factor in 20% or so discount. This one's doing okay in retirement. Same thing with the International Space Station that retired at the end of last year, already bumping up a little bit. And then this one has not retired yet, but it's another nice addition to this series. So, you know, Lego's coming out with, seems like the once a year NASA set, and that'll make a great collection. I think it adds to the overall desirability. And then let's look at eBay. So the asking prices are, you know, about the 20% below the MSRP, which is fine. But the big issue is there are 349 new listings of this set right now on eBay. Again, long hold time, but if you're willing to do that, then it should do well in retirement. A Harry Potter set, 76386, the Polyjuice Potion Mistake. 4 mentions, only an E-score of 1.5. I picked up about 5 of these over a year ago at $15. I was pretty excited about that price, but now it's been at that price a lot. 2.5-year shelf life, not terrible, not good, but a really nice set for $15. 4 minifigures, a lot of exclusive elements. The gold Harry Potter, which should be very highly sought after. Hermione's cat head, which is exclusive, and then a really nice build with the faucet pieces, a nice stall and door area, and then the mirrors. So it looks good for the price and a lot of pieces for the price, but it seems like the buzz has just fizzled out recently, even though this is one of the sets that you can combine to make the big castle. So at this point, I really just don't know how it's going to do in retirement. I've thought about it from a bunch of different angles, and in my head, I just can't figure it out. Obviously, I'm hoping it does well. I'm sure long term, because of the golden Harry Potter minifigure, it will at least do okay, but it seems to have lost some popularity over this last year. Also, something to consider is now with the drop in popularity, maybe it's starting to fly under the radar a little bit. So this one I put a big question mark on. Now on to a small set from the Botanical collection, Tulips 40461, 3 mentions with a top score of 3 for the enthusiasm score, which is between 0 and 3. Ignore brick set that says it retired last year in July. That's not true. It is still available on lego.com. And if we look at eBay, it is selling for almost double MSRP. shipped, which is a good sign. But a similar data point to keep an eye on is that there are 280 new copies of this set currently listed on eBay. So again, the market's pretty saturated, but I do like the set. I think it has a chance. The thing that I'm really curious about is to see once some of the larger Botanical sets start retiring, how they do, because Lego's made a lot of large and small. They all look fantastic, but right now it looks like they're all having pretty long shelf lives, which could be the major factor in if these sets do well or not in retirement. Another Speed Champion set, 76906, the 1970 Ferrari. 3 mentions with another top score of 3.0 on the enthusiasm scale. $20 set, you can get it for 16 all the time. And the word on the street is that it is retiring at the end of this year because it showed up on some European Lego.com last chance lists. It's not showing up on the US list yet, but if this set does retire, I'm very excited about this. I love this set. I said in one of my videos a while back that this is my favorite Speed Champion set that is retiring at the end of this year. That was when this set was on the Brick Fanatics list earlier in the year, and then it dropped off. And so we all talked about it a little bit less, but now that it looks like it's back to retiring, then I am back talking very, very positively about this set. I just love the classic feel, the red Ferrari, very simple curves, but a really complex engineering design and build to get all these shapes, and not a lot of stickers. So there's a lot of boxes that check off for me on this set. And the minifigure, the nice white with the classic red and Ferrari logo detailing, looks fantastic. Because this set was first retiring and then it wasn't, and now it looks like it is, it could be flying under the radar a little bit. But let's look at some of these pictures. Just a really nice shape design. Big fan of this set. The back looks great. Quick look at some other Speed Champions that retired not too long ago. This other Ferrari from $20 up to $32, and we got $33, $34. So they all are up about 50 to 100% so far. 10497, the Galaxy Explorer, 3 mentions, but a 2.7 E-score, and it's a 4.8 on BrickHeadz. So this set is absolutely fantastic. Only $100 for over 1,200 pieces. I haven't built it yet, but everybody says that it is the perfect balance of modern pieces, modern design, great build experience, but achieves the total feel of the classic 1980s space theme. So it has a lot of things going for it, but I have not invested in it yet because it was on sale a lot for $50, $70, and I haven't seen it at that price lately. So I think it's going to be massively over hoarded. Unless you're getting it on a huge discount, you're starting from way behind. If we look on eBay, it's about the 20% off MSRP, which again is okay, but there are 429 new copies listed on eBay right now. Way over saturated in the secondary market. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think for me, I'm just going to get one for myself, and I'm just going to pass and not even put mental energy into this set. And if I miss it, well, then hopefully I put my limited Lego investing budget into something else that will perform just as well. 3 Disney BrickHeadz are up next. They all got 3 mentions with an E-score of 2.7. They are 40378, Goofy and Pluto, and then 40476, Daisy Duck, and then lastly, the Chippendale set. I like all 3 of these pretty well. Daisy is okay, Pluto is adorable, Goofy is pretty good, and Chippendale are really adorable. A lot of personality. As with most BrickHeadz, they are Lego exclusive, so there won't be a lot of copies in retirement, but some of them have really long shelf life, and then the Chippendale has less than 2 years, so you got to look at that. But if we look at Disney BrickHeadz overall, historically they're doing decent to well. Here's $20 to $30, $10 to $26, and then you get some that really jump up, $20 to $82. The Mickey and Minnie's are in the $50 to $80 range. Yes, these are more of the classic characters, but I still think they do pretty well. And then last set to look at in this video is the Spider-Man Final Battle 76261. It's a new set, but already 3 mentions with an E-score of 2.7. $110 for 900 pieces, a little overpriced. It does have a 4.6 on BrickHeadz, which is outstanding. Even though the set is pretty messy looking, I actually really like it, and it works for my eyes. The Lady Liberty head in the copper color that hasn't oxidized yet, I think is a really nice touch. And then all of the scaffolding that the minifigures can grab on and battle on just works for me. So again, on quick glance, there's a lot going on here, but I like how it makes sense. Sandman with all his little pieces spread out through the set. And then of course the minifigures are overall really good. Doctor Strange is fantastic. The 3 different Spider-Man versions all look good. Doc Ock is a decent minifigure. Here are the other two Spider-Mans. Electro is super cool looking, but there are a few misses when it comes to the minifigures. I'm looking at you, MJ and Ned, and in particular, Green Goblin is really plain and boring. Now it's time to wrap up with my top 3 from the 25 sets that we just looked at in this video. And third place is this Dark Trooper helmet, and it pains me to put this set in third place. I don't like it, but because it's a helmet and it's a Target exclusive and it's Star Wars, I'm sure it will do okay in retirement. Second place is this Speed Champion set that I was just gushing over. Absolutely love this set. I hope it's flying under the radar a little bit. And then in first place is this Trash Compactor diorama. If you've watched my previous videos, you know that I love all the dioramas. I hope they do as well as the helmets, and maybe even a little bit better. It seems like people are talking more about the helmets than the dioramas, but the dioramas are minifigure scale and they come with minifigures, so I think that's going to help them. Maybe it'll take a little longer for these dioramas to get legs in retirement, but I still think they're going to do really, really well. And although this one is kind of ugly looking from the color scheme because it is a Trash Compactor room, it still is super cool, and all 6 minifigures are awesome and less than a 2-year shelf life. That's a wrap on this video. Thanks a lot for watching this one and all the other ones that you watch, and I will see you in the next one.